Hello, everybody. This is episode number 38 of the Two Chaps Many Cultures live stream. Today, we welcome Kwesi Ewoodzie to talk about learning about Africa through online portals and all that kind of thing, and also the correct spelling and pronunciation of this stuff. Stick around. Yes, folks, welcome back. It's Wednesday. Well, it could be any day.
Happy hump day! Man, episode what is it? 58? Can you believe it? Wow. What did you hold up there? I saw a can go up. Is it food? Oh, okay. No, that's not food. That's something else. I can't wait to hear about that.
Keep that in your brain. Milo. That's what this is.
Milo.
We'll hear about this. Yes, today we have a wonderful guest, and I will share the story when we bring him on. But with no further ado, may we introduce today our very good friend, Kwesi Ewoodzie. Welcome. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Kwesi?
I'm doing well, guys. Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome.
Taking time for us.
Of course. And
so let me tell you the story about this. This is he's already waving his finger. I was at a conference with Kwesi in Atlanta, actually not far from where he lives. And somebody had bought me this wonderful manna from heaven from my home country of Australia. And I just happened to bring it to the gala event. And I was nothing less than accosted, I tell you, by a group of wonderful people that Kwesi was leading, saying, where did you get that from? Because apparently, as we always are caught by surprise, things that may exist in your culture possibly could exist in other cultures, and you have this wonderful connection with cultures that are completely different on the other side of the world with you. So this is Milo. How do you say it, Kwesi?
It's Milo, okay? It's Milo. Get it right. End of story.
Come on, Brett.
Milo.
Get with it. Milo. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, what's this Milo business? It's Milo. So yes, if you're in a group of internationals and you break that stuff out, this is childhood stuff. I believe there should be a football player on there, and the adverts. Okay, see, even rugby. What is that?
No, this is
rules. I guess
this is from Australia. This is Australian rules, my friend. This is real.
My goodness! Oh my goodness! The adverts in Ghana were mind blowing with kids, scissor kicks and scoring goals, and then they celebrate with Milo. So it was great. It was great to see.
All right, can you educate a stupid what this is all about?
It's about a hot chocolate drink.
Okay. Not this. This is coffee. All right.
Yes, that's a chocolate drink.
It's kind of a malt chocolate that you mix it. Think of what would be kind of equivalent. There's an equivalent here. It's kind of like Ovaltine type.
Ovaltine, yeah, but Ovaltine is much inferior.
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. We've got over
from the same company. Who knows?
The important topic. The important topic's done. Let's get on to some. I don't know. What are we?
The side stuff.
We're going to talk about your great passion, which I love. This is you providing online tools for people in Africa to share their culture and their knowledge and their skills with the rest of the world. And of course, many people from outside of the African continent sometimes have trouble even understanding that it's actually a continent and not a country. So there are as many diverse parts of Africa, rich diverse and wonderful historic part of the world that many people don't have the good pleasure, and I'm one of them. I must admit, of visiting and understanding and taking advantage of the wonderful people and what they've got to offer there. So you are providing this forum. So tell us a bit about this. This is really great.
Yeah, it just grew out of this obviously state we're in of COVID, and I love to promote the continent, so I've been taking people there in person and all that. And this year, 2020, I had a few trips lined up, and it all got canceled. And I was feeling distant. I was feeling like I wanted to connect and continue the mission of promoting the continent. And Ghana specifically is where I have been taking people. And all these virtual concerts and things came up, and I was like, you know what? We're still able to do a lot of sharing. We're still able to put our skills and knowledge on display. And the people I knew who were counting on me to bring groups because that's part of their profession and their dedication, and I'm very proud of their own culture and spreading it. They all also stuck, right? People are not there for them to share all this knowledge and their products and services with. So that's out of all of that. I was like, okay, let's try to create a network. So I created the African Cultural Guides Association a few months ago, and through that, I was saying, okay, let's find a way to share all these things you're doing. So there are weavers, there are carvers, there are drummers, right, and dancers. Traditional drumming and dancing, all these things can be conveyed virtually. So organizing them, contacting them, commissioning videos for them to be made. I created the African Cultural Guides Association, and online created the Africa to You campaign, which started to put these skills and knowledge and services they provide out. Now, on some of them are just tour guides. So we got the Cape Coast Slave Castle, where the castle is closed, but the tour guide is standing outside and talking about what's going on, what the history that has transpired there, and the areas around there. So fast forward to now, schools have opened. Now faculty are having their classes. And now they still can't travel to take students on these intercultural experiences, right? So the students are not getting the intercultural competency experience that usually comes with the traveling. So with that started the virtual global learning services, where I can contact a faculty member can contact me and say we were going to travel to Uganda or we're going to travel to Sierra Leone, we are not able to travel. Can we get content there? Can we still interact with the people? Can we still hear what they do, what their culture is about? And I said, yes, that's very possible. And again, the same process of contact the people on the ground, the people who are already doing this, have them put what they do on the virtual online platform, right? Record it, pre-record it, take tours around different areas, different communities, and then share that with the students. And then we get to also follow that up with some live Q&A, so they get a chance to actually ask detailed and in-depth questions with people that they saw in the videos. So that's a little bit of what I've been doing.
That sounds like a lot of work.
And that is there's a bunch of cultural bridging cultures through all of that. I have to get hold of the people on the ground, right? And if you let them just shoot the video or capture something, they capture it to their own cultural appetites. If I would say the way it's presented, it makes sense to them. But the way it's presented, I know wouldn't make sense to the audience on this side. So there is a lot of, okay, you have to show the space this way. You have to, tell the story this way. You have to You know, there's some standards or some aspects that really I have to translate it to them for them to understand. And oftentimes I think they just take my word for it too, because it takes a lot more time to understand, okay, this is why we're presenting this information this way versus this other way where I thought it was perfectly fine, right? So yes, it is work. It is a lot of this cultural interpretation two ways. I have to understand the audience here, what they would like to see, what will be interesting to them, and I have to translate that. So because it's virtual, I also have access to multiple African countries, some of the ones I named outside of Ghana, where before my network or my knowledge focus was based in Ghana. So that's where I can provide the best services. But now with this virtual world, contacting people, you see what they do, using WhatsApp, you're in constant communication, and it makes the ability to get access to these multiple countries much easier. But yes, lots of work, lots of work. The communicating, because you say something or you type some instructions and they'll take it and just put their own twist on it, not understanding which parts, which parts was the flexible part and which part was like, no, 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 we have to have this part. So yeah, it's been interesting.
So you're a cultural interpreter in that regard. You help your fellow country people in Ghana to interpret Ghanaian culture in a way that it appeals to audiences outside of Ghana, outside of Africa.
Yeah.
Do you, when you told me earlier, and I've read through your resume that you've spent much of your adulthood outside of Ghana, and that you're educated in North America. When you go back to Ghana, do your family, your friends, or do the people that you work with and interact with, do they see you as one of them, or one of those Ghanaians who went away and who's been influenced by non-African influences?
So yeah, Ghanaian. I'll just do the quick correction.
Thank
Ghanaian
you.
for those in Ghana. But it's such a great question. Left Ghana when I was 10, so been stateside most of my life. And then for a while, I was just going back like once every 4 years. And then college hit, and then I had more flexibility and was able to go back almost every year for a while. And grad school hit, and I was able to do my dissertation in Ghana. So a lot of my reconnection with my motherland is during that graduate school experience when I was doing my dissertation. And 2008, around there, I was still in undergrad. I did a study abroad in Spain, and I went and did my best to try to learn Spanish. Didn't walk away knowing Spanish, but walked away with my local language, Fanti, being better than before the study abroad experience. And that was surprised me, but that was a saving grace because I had almost forgotten my local, my native language because I had been away for so long. I say all of that because coming back for the dissertation, definitely you get spotted or identified as an outsider. Ghanaians are very quick to just say, yeah, you're not from here, right? And not you're not from here, so you're not welcome, but it's more like you're not from here. So, we will host you nicely, but you're not from here. And I get pinpointed all the time. But my dissertation, I had to do a internship at hotels because I was studying the organizational culture of international hotels. Organizational culture of international hotels. So I spent a lot of time within hotels, and I was there for like months at a time. And a few months in, I was telling somebody, oh yeah, and then I went to school in the U.S. and they're like, oh okay, but where did you go to high school? I went to college in the U.S. But where did you go to high school? I said in the U.S. But and then they're like, okay, so where did you go to? I was at in the U.S. They're like, wait, where do you live? I said in the U.S. They were like, oh, we thought you lived in Ghana, and I was so happy. I was so proud because it means I was full on incognito, exhibiting my Ghanaian traits, and I thought it was great. But those were rare moments. But I also, when I get there, I love the local. I love the local. I love going to the local eatery spots. I love with the local drinks. I love the local hangout spots. So often, yes, the
Milo.
local Milo.
Here we've got Etsy here who's
Eche, yes,
already looking.
yes. So that's
Well,
my.
look at this. What Etche says here is that this is, I think, the killer one. This one right here. Till date, even adults live on Milo bread.
Mhm.
I'm drinking to go to bed. Almost addictive. There we have it.
That is a Ghanaian I met in Iowa.
Well, that's where
Let me
most.
repeat that. That's a Ghanaian I met in Iowa. Yes, we were both at graduate school
What
in
else did you
Iowa
learn in
together.
Iowa, Kwesi? I know you have a secret from Iowa. What did you learn in
Yes,
Iowa?
for forever, I'm gonna have to say I learned salsa dancing in Iowa City, Iowa, where I was going to grad school. So yes, Iowa City has a lot of surprises, people. Iowa City, the rest state of Iowa, probably is
Different
as you
dance.
expect, but Iowa
It's a
City
different
has
dance. Iowa
has.
City, people, the umbilical center of salsa dancing in the state of Iowa.
I'm telling you, they had salsa night Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. We'll take the few days in between off, and you can go back to salsa every day of the week after that. It was a blast.
That's great.
But yeah, being in Ghana, being seen as Ghanaian, that's definitely high. As one of the SNL jokes goes, high praise. It's a high praise for me. Um,
High praise.
because I've been outside so long. But that's why I love to go back and show it off, and because by then I stay connected. By doing that, I stay connected as well.
Now, I think we the three of us, we share this experience that we live outside of our birth country, and some of us have lived outside their birth country more than they lived inside their birth country. So
Mhm.
I'm asking this because I go through this once in a while. Is that something that touches your identity as the person you are? That when you go back to your birth country, you're not always seen as one of them. Does that affect you, or do you wear that with pride, or are you just simply okay with the fact that you're something else?
I probably see it first and foremost as a responsibility.
Mhm.
And I mean it's a fact. I can't escape it. But it's also a responsibility because it has given me a very interesting way to see the world, right? And different from those who born, raised, and stay there see the world in Ghana, and same with born, lived, and raised here in the U.S. see the world, and that is, I suppose, how I came into what I do. Um, taking hold of that identity as I'm a Ghanaian American. If I'm a Ghanaian American, what can I do more than an American can and then a Ghanaian can, which is bridge the two, right? It's just right there in my identity, Ghanaian American. So and I understand all the strength and beauty and just amazing characteristics of passion and hustle and all that exists in Ghana. And I think if the resources and the opportunities are given to people who strive and just make it happen in that culture and that in that environment, if it does come to that, and if it's all given equally, they will be doing amazing things and accomplishing some really amazing things for this world. And that's what I like to open people's eyes to when we go there. Just observe, see what's happening. You're not there to teach anybody. You're there to learn and to see how life can be, how vibrant, how incredible it can be, and outside the context of what do I have and all these things, and it will help you translate just that into your life here where you do have those opportunities. It will help you translate it a little bit more and reframe it in a way where you really appreciate all the things available to you. So when I go back, I see it as the responsibility, and it's a badge I wear, I suppose, with humility and pride.
Nice. Now, I'd like to ask a question that we didn't agree, or I didn't preface this in the green room, but as we're talking, this question comes up because I've had these conversations with Africans who live in the United States quite a bit. So you're African and not African American, and I believe there is a little bit of a difference in worldview around this. However, people don't always know this when they get to know you, because they see you as the person that you are, and they may perceive you as African American even though you're not. Is, especially coming from West Africa, is the history of the slave trade and how African Americans are to this day struggling with their place in the world in this U.S. society. Is this something that affects you, or that you feel drawn to from a historical point of view because you hail from West Africa? Is that something that becomes part of your teaching or part of your work?
Yeah, I suppose that's the second side of the responsibility. I feel I have to be aware of and respond to, which is, so I spoke of the Ghanaians and my responsibility to Ghanaians, but also the second half is my responsibilities to the Black Americans here, right? Which is, I took some Black Americans to Ghana, and I was like, oh, so and so, this person, oh, they're African Americans. They're like, okay. Oh, what country are they from? I'm like, no, they're African American. They're American. So I can't use that term because it doesn't apply. So I have to use Black American, right? But yeah, it's about that. I feel very lucky and very blessed to be able to have a connection with my homeland and with my home culture and home people. And that is something the community, the Black American community here, have continued to be denied that connection, right? And therefore, this is the North America here in the U.S. is the only home they know, and above that is the home that keeps rejecting them and keeps making life more complicated. So it's this very hard situation of consistently making sense of that and trying to find some peace here when it just keeps not coming. And one of the things that I know really adds to that inner sense of peace, the identity, who I am, is connecting back to the continent. And West Africa and Ghana specifically is a very ideal place to make that connection. But I do believe make an authentic connection with any part of the African continent will provide that type of healing or that type of stability that is missing, right? So so what do I do? I make that a big part of my return home, through the work I do of taking people to the continent. And when you do that, especially for Black Americans, there's a very cautious, very specific, very uh, purposeful kind of messaging and framing you have to offer for the experience to be as positive and as impactful as it can be, right? uh, just just like there is struggles here in Fit It In, if you just say I'm going to Africa, and then you land and you do not take time, you're going to run into some of the same struggles and challenges. We talked about my identity of, I still go and I could be pinpointed as an outsider, right? And as somebody who doesn't, who's not part of us. And I was born there, right? Let alone somebody who wasn't born there, let alone somebody who hasn't had constant contact with the culture, who lands and who, from because their home that they've known has rejected them, they keep thinking this other land is going to be their home, there's going to be their motherland in like that fantastical way. And you get there and you're still receiving like there's a term, at least in Ghana, we use to kind of it encompasses foreigner and white person at the same time, obroni, which is that term. And if a Black American goes and keeps hearing that term and asks somebody what does that term mean, and this person, you know, not being so interculturally aware, doing that bridging I do, just say, oh, it means white person. Just imagine the heartache that can come from that if you're not expecting, or if you're not expecting it, or haven't been talked through or walked through what all of that means. So yes, that's part of my the responsibility I feel, facilitating that homecoming and using my knowledge of the life here, and knowing what they may or may not expect on the African continent, in Ghana and in other African countries, using that to kind of preempt or anticipate possible conflicts and bring them down to a more real expectations level. And through that, you get more of that bonding. You make more authentic connection because you see the people there in a real lens rather than in some fantastical lens. And after the connection is made, you find that peace, or you find that stability that you've been missing in your identity. But even if I get a week or a month in Ghana, I always feel refreshed in some way, because the environment here is so prove yourself, prove your worth, prove that you belong here. And it's just it's toxic to some extent,
Right.
and it does challenge the who you are, your identity, and all that. And I'm just so happy to have my roots and the community here that don't have that. And I see the pain, I see the heartache a lot, and it needs to be processed. And I think sometimes the visit to the continent is a way to process it.
I think that was one of the most profound pieces of understanding that I came to, is just realizing that when I heard Black Americans saying, white people have a heritage, they have a place. I have a heritage. I can trace my family roots back to the UK, Britain, for example. So most of us in this world have this ability to do this. But when you've had previous generations that you basically, there's a dead end at how you can explore your origins. That's a whole story that is taken away from you. So you can't pass that on to your children. And then, as you say, also the country that you are in, which you call home and you expect should make you feel welcome, you have this sense of obligation to prove your worth of being here, which is so it's just an intensely difficult thing to get through, and I don't know whether I could personally and anybody could ever have the understanding of what that feels like, but I think that work is great and important and wonderful, what you're doing. Where do we find the work you're doing, Kwesi? I know you've got a website up here. We've got let me see. I'm bringing up some things here. This website here. What is this site here? Where?
So yeah, CBB experience is what I call traveling with me to go to experience the African continent. Is a CBB experience, gives you an authentic view of the continent through Ghana, and now because of all the connections, we'll be going to multiple African countries as well.
Right.
So cbbexperience.com/virtual is where I'm offering these virtual services, and currently they're designed as modules to enhance either curriculum. So give me 1 or 2 weeks of your class time, and we bring in, we internationalize your curriculum and bring in programming that's appropriate, whatever is customized, what you ask for. Health, dealing with health, dealing with technology, dealing with business, dealing with agriculture, dealing with whatever you curriculum is. If it's just cultural exploration, whatever your curriculum is exploring, we provide the video content and then a live Q&A, right? So you can order various modules from there. And I link back to that group of African Cultural Guides Association, that network of people who are on standby because they need more business. They need ways to gain access to a global audience, and this is a way where it's win-win for those on this side who can't travel and those on that side who can't show you what they're doing.
So that's the African Cultural Guides Association. Yeah.
So that's CBB Experience. My travel and tour company is Culture Beyond Borders. That's the CBB. Okay. Culture Beyond Borders. So ACGA is the African Cultural Guides Association. So Culture Beyond Borders is almost 10 years old, but ACGA was born out of this COVID times to organize the cultural guides. So when I get a client through CBB, I tap.
Nope, he went a bit. We lost Kwesi. Froze up.
Well, he I think he went into explaining how the African organization that they started as part of the COVID challenge is helping connect different association
into
culture.
The cultural guides connection.
There he is, or he isn't.
And Kwesi also mentioned a fundraiser that's coming up. If you go to here, there's obviously all this kind of thing takes money, and to reward the people that are doing the work. Kwesi himself, of course, to make sure that this important work continues to move forward. And sorry, we've lost Kwesi there. He seems to have gone. I don't know. Maybe the weather's so nice outside, he's decided to go outside.
That's what you get with technology that isn't always your friend.
He is.
There he is.
He's back.
Was I talking too much? Did somebody kick me off?
No. No, you were fine. We just lost you. You froze up and you were done. Yeah. So we were filling, I was explaining why it's Milo, and in your absence, you weren't here to argue with me. Tell us about the fundraiser, Kwesi. You've got. I was just bringing this up. So the fundraiser and the resources that you're trying to provide to provide these services. Yeah.
Yeah. So this 100% goes to the cultural guides. This is the Africa to You campaign. There's been a number of videos released if you go on the Instagram, but this is the African Cultural Guides is the Instagram. This link, the fundraiser.com/Africa to you, is where you actually do the donating. It's like a GoFundMe, the GoFundMe page, but it's just a different platform. And if you donate, you can donate. There's a category where we send you these handbags made in Ghana. So you can look at that to see if that's interesting enough for you. But really, really the idea is we're raising money so I can commission them to make videos, and that's the idea of bringing Africa to you. One of them is telling the song weavers sing, because their machine makes the rhythm. They made a whole song out of it, and so the Kente Weaver song is one of the video. There's the Adinkra symbol going on. Am I back?
No, you're still there. So yeah.
Okay.
Well,
it's
a bit patchy, Kwesi. So we might wrap it up. Thank you very much. I mean, this has been fascinating. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your work, and thank you for doing the work. I mean, this is important, and I think many people could really benefit from learning a lot more about the African continent and what they have to offer. And thank you again for your time. And of course, we're going to be still seeing a lot of each other and organising the wonderful conference that we're in the middle of doing, because Kwesi is a rock star when it comes to organising I don't know how you have time to do all this stuff, but anyway, it is what it is.
This has been a great time working on our October conference as well. So it's virtual, people, so come on in.
Absolutely.
What conference is this? What kind of conference are you talking about?
Oh. Tell them. Well, a CETA USA, Society for Intercultural Education, Training and Research, the wonderful organisation that we're a part of, and the conference is coming up, virtual conference, online conference coming up in October, where of course you can definitely meet and greet and talk to Kwesi directly. You know, he's a bit of a rock star, but right there we're going to have him. You know, we're going to tie him to a chair, and we're going to have, people can have access to him. So,
yes, I'll be there. We're going to do a global event.
Milo. So
yes, we'll have a Milo networking. See, I need to end this. You're already corrupting me. I need to end this.
Yes, I did it.
It's Milo. It's Milo.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, and everybody, put your comments, questions, reflections, and learnings in the comments, please, and share this out, and consider subscribing to our YouTube channels. We're begging you. We're just shamelessly begging.
Do it. We're not begging. We're instructing you.
Instructing. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Kwesi.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.